In the early days of Five Nights at Freddy's, the story was mostly hidden, told through a few cryptic phone calls and Easter eggs. But everything changed with FNAF 2, with the inclusion of 8-bit minigames. Since then, minigames have become one of the most important storytelling tools in the entire FNAF series. I mean, look at Midnight Motorist, we still don't really understand that one. So in today's video, I'm going over every minigame from every mainline FNAF game, from FNAF 2 all the way to Secret of the Mimic. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like and hit the sub button. Also turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. With all that out of the way, I hope you enjoy. FNAF 2 introduced 4 different 8-bit minigames that could randomly appear after you failed a night, earning the nickname Death Minigames. Visually, they looked like old Atari games, complete with a CRT filter. Despite their simplicity, the aesthetic really stood out and it honestly worked. You would hear distorted audio in the background with phrases like "save them" and "help them." One of these minigames, now famously titled Save Them, introduced us to the most iconic 8-bit figure we've ever seen, that being Purple Guy. He is also the first living person that we see in the series. There were even early theories that he might be Phone Guy based on the way he looked like he was holding a phone. These games were a real first look into the missing child incident, or the dead child incident depending on who you asked, but that's a topic for another video. In FNAF 3, minigames make a return, but this time, they're way more interactive. You unlock one for every night you complete, with others being hidden by secret actions. The main set of minigames take us back to the FNAF 1 location. You play as each animatronic following a shadowy figure known as Shadow Freddy, until Purple Guy appears and dismantles you. This minigame is aptly named Follow Me. Follow Me also serves as a hint towards unlocking other minigames throughout the nights. Those minigames being Chica's Party, BB's Adventure, Mangle's Quest, Stage 01, and of course, Happiest Day. These hidden minigames even have secret paths that lead to abstract, surreal areas that are difficult to describe and honestly really creepy.
Whoa. Hi there! What the hell are you? What kind of diabolical nightmare does this all represent?
Completing all of them unlocks the true ending, officially making FNAF 3 the first game to include multiple endings. FNAF 4 changes things up again. Now minigames appear before each night, showing us the tragic final days of the crying child. For the first time in the history of FNAF, we are playing as an actual human, at least in the minigames. These minigames take place in the Afton residence, Fredbear's family diner, and the streets that connect them. The visual perspective also shifts depending on the location that you're at, giving everything a more cinematic feel. If you played the game during Halloween, the minigames even update with seasonal decorations, making it this the first FNAF game to actually acknowledge the real-world calendar. When FNAF World first dropped, it was mostly done in a retro 8-bit style. Later updates added a more 3D look, but there are still several notable minigames scattered throughout. As you explore as Freddy, you come across strange mazes, each with their own visual filter: blue scale, grayscale, and black and white. There's also the iconic Old Man Consequences area, with a red hue, adding even more mystery. While not traditional minigames, these areas are definitely in the same spirit as the old entries. Sister Location includes a recurring minigame where you play as Circus Baby throwing cupcakes at children. Yeah, that's pretty much all the minigame is. It might sound silly, but this is actually the most graphically detailed minigame up until this point. Once you feed all the children and return to the start, the game takes a very dark turn. Another set of minigames shows Mike leaving his home and heading to work. Over time, Mike's spirit visibly decays, and eventually revealing his corpse-like purple state. FNAF 6, also known as Pizzeria Simulator, starts off as a cute 8-bit arcade simulator. You can even make your own pizzas and throw them at kids. But then it starts to glitch out and a dark Freddy appears. As you continue throwing pizzas, the game eventually crashes, and you're set to the title screen. From there, you can unlock a bunch of hidden minigames, including Security Puppet, Midnight Motorist, and Fruity Maze. In Security Puppet, we get to see the aftermath of Charlotte's death. Midnight Motorist is so weird that honestly, it deserves a video on its own. In Fruity Maze, as you go throughout the maze, you will see Susie's dog. And as you continue playing the minigame, her dog dies and you see coffins appear. Eventually, you see Spring Bonnie appear behind you and car alarms going off. This seems to tell us how Susie, aka Chica, dies. And honestly, this minigame is probably one of the more darker moments in this franchise. Besides you, Mingle, we're not going to talk about you. Help Wanted doesn't actually have any minigames, unless you want to count the mobile version, which includes Princess Quest. Why is it only on the mobile version? Well, I honestly don't have any clue. Princess Quest is a full-on Zelda-style dungeon crawler with pixel combat and rabbit enemies that look a lot like Glitch Trap. In Help Wanted 2, Princess Quest makes a return, but now in first person. You explore deeper levels, encountering Old Man consequences, and finding graves that seem to refer to the missing child incident. There's even a Bonnie mask that ties into Cassie's father, the player character of Help Wanted 2. In Security Breach, Princess Quest makes its full return across 3 games. You get new abilities, solve puzzles using your shadow, and eventually unlock a secret ending, a direct continuation of Help Wanted. There are 2 more minigames in Security Breach, that being Balloon World and Chica's Feeding Frenzy. They don't have a lot of lore relevance, but they are still fun distractions. Feeding Frenzy actually gives you Chica's voice box, but it doesn't actually do anything. Into the Pit features a huge variety of playable arcade games, from skee ball to puzzle slides. While most of them don't actually do too much for the story, they do offer tickets that let you get collectibles. There is an Easter egg for Fetch, hinting at the next Fazbear Frights book, and a minigame referencing To Be Beautiful and Count the Ways. To get one of these minigames, you have to interact with the gumball machine a ridiculous number of times until it shows up.
Lullaby and good night with roses bedlam.
Secret of the Mimic only has one minigame you can actually play, that being Moon.exe. This minigame works like an old analog dungeon crawler, with the player needing to unlock a lot of the collectibles in the game to complete the minigame. FNAF's minigames have come a long way, from simple death screens to entire hidden endings. Some are creepy, some are confusing, and some are downright unforgettable. I'm looking at you, Hefting with Helpy. Whether they are pointless minigames or hint into the lore of FNAF, these minigames deserve just as much recognition as the main games themselves. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. You better subscribe or Buff Helpy's gonna come for you.